then you're with the problem that people are going to have like the last week of the season or something, and they're going to have to spend a lot of the season just grinding up for a season. And even more so, if a new tank comes out between seasons, that is the new meta. And you got to. So, I think crew experience should be allowed, but grinding tanks out at the same rate as PvP, no. Credit should. I think you shouldn't have to pay for consumables or anything though. So your costs are covered, so you're not losing money on Lords of War.
Yeah.
But it should all be about prestige. You're fighting for the glory. Oh, hang on. I've still got 2 secondaries to get, by the way, guys. So play with your food a bit, yeah? Don't kill the boss.
No, we'll go for reds.
And while we have that nice subtle pause. Hello, Block! Welcome, mates.
Oh,
Down Under is in the
I've just slunk into the channel.
He just woke up.
Morning! Morning, mate!
Alright, hang on.
Yeah.
There's one more secondary to go. So 10 seconds and then go kill him.
Okay, so Kroshy, you've played a lot of the Lords of War. I don't think Block has, and we'll let Block just wake up a little bit. Grab a coffee, mate. Stroke the beard, consider and contemplate. Kroshy, what are you thinking about Lords of War? Because you're playing a lot of it at the moment with
at
your...
At the moment, I consider it broken. And if it goes out as it is now, I won't be playing it.
Okay, so what do you think is broken about it? Let's...
Pure and simple part is tank selection. Now, at the very start, Tier 6...
is broken.
Yeah,
BMP3s or GTFO.
It's just BMP3s, job done. If you're not in a full pack of those, you've lost.
I disagree with that
Yeah,
in terms
same.
that we've run teams with 2 Bradleys, a VBL, I think, hang on. Sorry, a Bradley VBL, 2 BMP3s, and a Stingray, and we've actually got the daily win streak on Tier 6, I think. And we beat RSOP teams and Apple teams.
Yeah, the counter to the BMP3M is definitely a Bradley, but you cannot run full Bradleys because the Bradley will just rip the living out of the BMP3M. It will rip it apart.
Okay, so in conclusion then, we think that Tier 6, there's definitely some issues. I think Tier 4 is actually quite nice. There is different options of tanks you can play. There's no Tier 5 in Lords of War, which I think is a huge mistake.
I'll mention that.
And God knows how that slipped through. 7s, well, the Tier 7 map doesn't have MBTs on it, so it's a very fluid event. And, you know, Stingray 2 is quite dominant. The BMP3M is fairly good.
As well.
Tier 9 and Tier 10, I actually enjoy playing. It's only really Tier 6 that seems to have an issue in it. And I think that's primarily due to the changes they made with ATGM.
I think half the with Tier 6 is the map it's on, in that it's a very open map, which means BMPGs can run wild. If it was put on a map like... trying to think what was closed off. So maybe something like, not necessarily Coastal Threat or Roughneck, but something where people could... it was closed in, so the BMP3s couldn't exploit their view range advantage to such a large degree. I think it would be less broken.
Right. As I was going to say...
Sorry.
Fucking arseholes. Right. Now I've lost my train of thought. For fuck's sake. Oh. Right. As far as I'm concerned, Lords of War is broken, and what it needs is tank locking. Not locking it so you can't play it each and every game, but class locking, sorry. So you can only bring 2 lights. You can only bring 1 medium. MBT, sorry. And have it varying from different missions, different tiers, so on and so forth, to force people not to just troll around with one play style, one tactic.
Yeah.
Force people to be more creative, just use their brains is what I'd like to see.
I
Going
agree
back
with that.
to World of Tanks, Clan Wars, there was certain maps, right, we need 10 bat chats and the rest 50 Bs. What?
But to a certain degree, is that there is some class limiting, because you've got, for most of the maps, 1 to 5 of each different types of vehicles. Now, we're testing this as a 5v5, and 5v5 I agree with you. It's totally nothing broken, and unfortunately, the NA server are going to get Lords of War as a 5v5 event. But when it launches, I think it's going to be 10v10 on the EU server.
That's bad.
If you're only allowed to have 5 AFVs, you are going to be bringing other tanks. So to a certain degree, some of the issues will be solved when it's launched at 10v10.
In which case, if it's 10 and you're going to have 5 clash, it's going to be 5 AFVs and 5 light tanks.
Yeah.
In which case, it's still broken.
It's still broken to a degree, but not as broken, is it?
I think
they're not
do with tier
fixing.
10s.
Yeah, but that's not
and
fixing the issue.
They just have, you can only have 1 AFV, up to 2 light tanks, and all the other classes, and it'd be fixed. You'd have a spotter and damage dealers.
You can have anything as your 0 win streak, and then as you progress, you get locked out of certain classes to force people play harder vehicles. To be honest, like at tier 4, oh look, you've been forced to play MBTs because you've hit a 10 win streak.
Yeah.
I don't think that would go down well. I'm going to be honest. I think they just need to limit it. They just need to limit it from the start and just say you can only have up to 1 of these. Oh, hang on.
So should it be limiting then, rather than limiting vehicle classes, vehicle specific vehicles? Because that is the problem. It's only certain vehicles that actually are causing the major issues. MBTs on certain maps, you're right, it's for tier 6, they're not a lot of use on pipelines.
No.
It's pretty bad. It's definitely there for open mobility and ATGM spam. So maybe they need to look at the maps for each of the different tier levels. I mean, Lost Island at tier 9, I actually kind of like. It's fun. There's different avenues. Yes, there is a meta, and there's always going to be a meta with this sort of competitive play. What is the best series of tanks? World of Tanks had it, and unfortunately, Armored War have it. I don't think you can really change that without making all of the different vehicles, feel the same. So every MBT feels the same. But in this game, MBTs have different characteristics. Challenger 1 at tier 7 has got awesome frontal armor. The M1 Abrams at tier 7 is, Count's favourite tank.
It's a jack of all trades.
Yeah, exactly. And the Leos have got great guns, good frontal armor, and better mobility than the Challengers. So there are changes to be made, and hopefully that's why we're testing it. And hopefully you guys are putting feedback on the forums, because one thing that irritates me about games is people that don't actually put feedback in. They just get salty on the forums. We get constructive feedback going, it's going to improve the game wholeheartedly for everyone.
And that's what this is all about, isn't it?
Exactly. And that's what this conversation that we're having tonight is all about, is us gathering comments from the people watching. And I think we've got 45
doing my
people
comms job.
Yeah, well, basically, we've got 52.
Well, if they're not willing to do it, we'll do it ourselves.
Yeah, we've got 52 people watching. AW are hosting us. We're all hosting this stream, and I think this is a really interesting. Hopefully, the guys are enjoying it, and hopefully that we may not be able to make great drastic changes, but hopefully we can pass this feedback on through Caladine's illicit MyCom hacks and illicit contacts, and hopefully the feedback can be positive.
Yeah, I think what most people are glad about is that we actually are allowed to test it now, because previously the only PTS was on the Russian server.
Yeah.
Which, for those who couldn't get away past the Russian website and download that, and couldn't be dealing with all the fact that now it's all in Russian, I have no idea what anything says.
Yeah, I mean, I've played on the Russian PTS server, and it was fine up to a point, but the last update, you had to change the config file to turn everything into English every time you loaded into the game, and that was just an absolute pain in the back.
Can someone get a second? I've got 2 bosses in my face.
Where is?
I'm a little bit preoccupied.
I'll come back and give you some support.
Thank you. I should be able to get the M1, maybe. Yeah, he's on 162 health. I can't kill him.
Right, I'm going behind him.
All right.
He likes it from behind.
Okay, so tier 4. Everyone enjoy tier 4, or is it as broken as tier 6?
I quite like tier 4.
It was fun play, but let's face it, the matter was Sheridan's or BMD ones.
LAV 300s do okay.
Yeah,
but you can have fun in the Starship because it's a fairly small map.
When I took my little group out, we did Type 69s. Which-
Type 69.2 fully upgraded is awesome because that's ERA pack.
monstrous, because with ERA it kind of holds this middle finger up to ACGMs,
Absolutely.
That's
and it
true,
just
but
completely makes them useless. The only thing that really does wipe a type out is I can't think of a tank. Hang on. Lav.
yeah.
Because of the AP pen on those things. It's
Yeah.
just ridiculous at that
Right.
tier.
Just
But
going
that's
to go
what
back.
TD should be.
Yeah, I'm just going to go back to chat. So let's just pause this discussion a second.
Okay.
Teggy26 says Armored Warfare is a noob-friendly game. Possibly. There is a bit to learn.
Yeah, it's got a much shallower learning curve.
Yeah. Okay, now going on to some Lords of War comments. Haha, a great name. I love that. That's awesome. There's a lot of gaming clans in NA who aren't playing it because there is no competitive endgame. We're going to have to see how Lords of War, I guess, affects that. Scallywag says, replies to haha, the game's still in beta. There may be some other endgames. I mean, they said that Lords of War was only their first version of competitive end play.
Yeah.
And I think I think they're doing it just to. No, let's ignore that.
Have you made some friends?
No, no, I'm just running off a cliff like I normally do when I'm reading chat and when I play Armored Warfare.
What? No rock?
Yeah, no rock. It was just a scrubby cliff. So yeah, we know this is only the first version of competitive play. We know they're launching Clan Wars, Territory Wars, effectively, which I think is going to be very similar to Clan Wars.
Yeah.
Fez says there's too many modes of play. I think we've already discussed that. He says that equals a failed game. I know Fez has been having terrible problems with PvP games recently, and it goes in cycles like that. I think we've all had really terrible bad streaks.
Boom.
Scallywag says, Lords of War could be years off. I don't know, but there's no end game outside of random battles. Well, I don't think the Lords of War is going to launch until
December, around December, I think.
Yeah,
we all know that Season 1 is going to be in patch 18.
Which is going to be December, if they get it launched on time. And I guess that's the big thing. Adstan read, I did read that Lords of War was as 2 of each tank type, and on the Russian PTS you're going to use 2 of any tank class in a team.
Cool.
So maybe we will see some change in them. I mean, I don't know what happened, but I mean, Will Toronto on one of the streams when he was playing Lords of War seemed to think that there was going to be an update this week, but I haven't seen anything happen. So where his information came from, God only knows. So maybe there's going to be some more updates coming up. We are only 2 weeks into the Lords of War test. There's more time to do it.
Yeah.
Baby Hitman says Lords of War needs more tactical, initiative involved.
Yep.
As at the moment, it's just rush to one side and kill the team.
Yeah,
that's what we were talking about earlier, though. They need to rework how many tanks are in a tier, as you'd say, or in a.
Yeah, it does. But I think on a competitive side of it, you're going to get that in any sort of competitive mode.
Yeah.
You take World of Tanks, their stronghold battles are pretty much the same. You take a look at the Armored Warfare leagues with the changes this week in the patch with 80 gems. It went from 2 MBTs, TDs, and light tanks to full 80 gem vehicles. And suddenly it was all maneuver down one side of the map and quick engagement. So, there's more balancing to come with that. Power Thirst says it should be limited to a limit of 2 at tier 5, 3 at tier 10. I guess that maybe means the amount of the different vehicles in there, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing you got to consider is that if you want tactical gameplay, you really need more than 5, in my opinion, because or make the map smaller. Because with 5, there's 2. You can't fill up the gaps. You can't be tactical about it, which is why everyone rushes, because that's what you can do with 5. It's a small skirmishing force.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you meet an enemy force, you rip it to shreds.
I just think 7 or 8 is a good number to have, but that's
I think
just
7 or 8 is probably going to be the sweet spot. In the same way that it was, its ranked battles in World of Warships is 7, I think, and whatever the equivalent was in World of Tanks was also 7. So I think 7 is the magic number.
They're taking ranked battles out of World of Tanks.
Why? I don't know. I've not played it in a long time.
No, nor have I. But I've been reading some stuff, and because I do keep up with World of Tanks purely because if World of Tanks develops, and then Obsidian will develop AW, so they're mutually beneficial for both games to succeed to a certain degree. But I believe they're taking ranked battles out of World of Tanks. Any other questions? Let's have a look. Sig says, my take on Lord of Wars is do not lock out any tank in any tier bracket, but limit the number of each class. to
Yeah.
ensure a healthy mix of classes and bring tactics and thought into gameplay. Good point. And Grimland says Lords of War may benefit from a little more randomness. Change the objectives, drop AI in, change the style of gameplay so a full Air Thief pack is going to get mullered more than often than not, and might force a move to balance gameplay. Well, I guess that is possibly something they're testing with Global Ops, that PvP and PvE.
Just a quick thing, what Powerthirst said. Yes, I have had a talk to a lot of people